But oh yeah, oh boy, yeah. You thought this was something I did when I was 19, bitch. No, I did this when I was a fully grown male, and I knew exactly what was a good and bad idea. But anyway, so you've touched on something there I just want to get into very quickly because it's a fun little deviation from some of the deeper stuff we've talked about and will talk about. Football Manager or FIFA?
Oh, Football Manager. Not even a debate.
So I knew you'd say that, but right, right, Football Manager fandom over FIFA fandom, I will agree with you on, because FIFA fandom it's Pokemon card fandom turned up to 11. It's really, really hard for me to stomach. But how do you play Football Manager, man? Like, it's all about it's like professional wrestling fandom. You guys love the backstage stuff more than you love the stuff that happens in the ring. Y'all spend all day, son, putting your teams together and changing the stats and moving them around and dealing with contracts until the game happens, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, how long is this going to take?
This notebook, this notebook is full of my tactics from this year. Which is pathetic, but
it isn't. Listen, though it isn't.
It is right, because I'll tell you why. Why I'm absolutely. I agree with you that FIFA fans and FIFA itself is a better game. Okay,
it fucking better be for the prices they charge. But sorry, go ahead.
Graphically, and the concept itself is better. I just find the world of microtransactions absolutely sick.
Right. We actually covered this on the gaming news thing when they went super out the other end of their argument, saying they can't be. What was it? It can't be gambling because there's no way of being able to monetize the cards in order for it to become like the definition of gambling is that there's a financial transaction. So I'm saying we don't do that. You buy packs and points, and then you buy the cards. So there, it doesn't make sense. And I was like, cool, except for there's this guy who's offering to sell you cards.
Yeah.
So how's your online gambling thing going? So, dude, I'm 100% with you on the fact that they've made, Pokemon cards were bad enough, but at least you had the card. So I do agree with you there.
Just a side note. I also love Pokemon. It's part of my childhood. Unbelievable.
Dude, massive fan of Pokemon, but I'm just saying,
Pokemon,
if I had a
Pokemon, Zelda, Football Manager, those are the three games I played.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, we'll come back to the Pokemon and the Zelda thing in a moment because you're going to have to explain Zelda to me. But Football Manager, you've got the book there, and that's fine because the book is no different than when I used to make. I used to make Excel spreadsheets of my FIFA teams because I used to want to track their progress because I knew what their potential would be at certain points because, of course, someone had already done all the legwork. So. And the reason for that is because I wanted to get out of the whole free transfer thing that they were doing for years and years. So you just go, I'm just going to sim through the first 2 seasons and sign everyone on a free, and then the third season I'm just going to have Messi and Ronaldo and everyone. That got boring after a while. So you go like, no, I'll do this legit as I can. Football Manager fans look at that and go, now that is adorable. You know how cute you are right now. Yeah. So, okay, tell me about Football Manager and why is it worth losing your life for?
Oh, the stories, the narratives that you can create. It's right. Done.
You know it's going to be good when he has to take a breath. Go ahead.
My first Football Manager was when I was 5 years old. Football Manager 2007, and I still remember to this day the great Chelsea team I had. Okay, so I obviously was a bit of a novice back then. I'm a massive Liverpool fan. But Chelsea had money. So young Chris was like, you know what? I'll go to Chelsea. And I played that game religiously. So I didn't get another Football Manager till 2011. I had a Chelsea team for, I think, 50 years. And David Villa, 24 million release clause. I still remember it. That's how sad I am. From Valencia. You get him in for 24 million. He was my best striker for 10 years. And I had a Welsh forward, came through my youth academy called Lee Redmond, 16 years old, played for me the entire of his career. Like, these sort of things that just stick with you. And the fact is, as well, and I think a lot of Football Manager creators are very knowledgeable about the game itself, like about football itself. I think it helps to enhance it because I don't have time anymore to genuinely watch like loads and loads of football. I probably watch a game every 2 days. That's probably as much as I would get in, because of work and life commitments. Because women exist.
They do. They really do.
They really do, yeah. I haven't even got to the well. If I ever have kids, then I think Football Manager might have to take a back burner. But no, I think it enhances your knowledge of the game. It enhances how you think about football, especially when you get into the real nuances of it. And when you get good, and I would say I'm good at Football Manager. I wouldn't say I'm great, but when you get good, there's no better game to be more satisfied at, because you're literally saying, right, I can instruct these people pixels to do this, and they will do it. And it's not like you're doing it. It's like, right, you are like the manager. You are the it sounds really bad. You're like the dictator of it. Like you are the number one, and you don't have any control of everything, but at the same time you do, and it's all mentality, and it's unbelievable. And as I said, the narratives you can create. Like I remember those, and I remember Salat Salima, the greatest Peruvian winger to ever grace the game, from Football Manager 2016. So yeah, I am pre-ordering it, and if FM want to sponsor me or do anything, please contact me.
I love that though. Because again, that sort of like you said, that the escapism of being able to create your own narrative and sort of cultivate your own world and all this sort of stuff. It's one of the reasons why I pitch people gaming quite a lot who I don't think consider gaming to be a legitimate media, especially when it's therapeutic. It's look, it's time consuming, and it can be expensive at times, and sometimes it will break your fucking heart. Hi, Cyberpunk. But anyway, point is that like, there's so much about gaming that can be transformative as an experience for someone, and it can, like you say, steer into certain to existing passions, and it can also help, like you say, enhance your understanding and appreciation of certain things to a certain degree. Maybe not as much as doing it for real. Like I remember developing an appreciation for boxing when I had my first sparring session and thinking, oh wow, I'm not hard. Not even in the slightest. That's good to know, because now I'm not going to get into an unnecessary street fight thinking, are you looking at my bird? But that's okay, because it's like, okay, the appreciation is now there. But, right, if I may be so bold, a game that focuses on the minutiae is great. But the football goes, you might as well just get rid of the football in the title, because the football's such a irrelevant point to it. Like, at least with FIFA, there's the rage quitting, and there's the cheap tactics and the glitches, and like you said, the microtransactions where a player can be sold 5 different times in the space of a season with different colours, and that makes him more valuable, apparently. But at the end of the day, there's still the game, and there's still the stories that come out of the interaction between the players that I think I covet the most. That's why you say Zelda, I say Halo, man. Halo 2 on the cross console, which you're probably too young to remember, is like, that is peak gaming, because you could hit someone with a rocket launcher from across the map, turn around to the guy you just hit and go, like, it was a great time, and like the experience of the matches was where the memories were made. But I do take your point that there's something to be said about the narratives that kind of that step forth from the gameplay itself. And it's cool that you've got that, because I think that's such a thing. I don't think many people talk about that. The fact that it can arrive from a game when you're playing it, that you can have your own sort of story to tell. That's kind of, because dude, San Andreas back in the day. Again, you're probably too young for. Sorry.
Oh, no, mate, I've played San Andreas. Don't worry.
Right, but okay. Oh god, this is where old man yells at cloud that looks like young man. The cheat codes. Cheat codes are being a thing. See, there you go, you see. Like, that was the thing in the playgrounds, man, was where you kind of got together and you kind of exchanged the tidbits of information, the scraps of information you were able to cultivate from saying, hey, listen, my friend's dad's uncle's cousin found this shit out, and he wrote it down on this weird bit of paper. It's from this magazine called Babe Station. Don't know anything about it yet. I'm sure I'll know a lot about it in years to come. But, like it was something about the shared experience, whereas the online culture that kind of online gaming has cultivated, I don't know if that necessarily exists in the same way, but in Football Manager terms, I always found Football Manager to be quite a clinical experience, and as a result, I was just kind of turned off from it.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I will say is, so take me back to COVID again.
Oh God, no!
So it was a very formative time for me. Like genuinely, it was probably. I don't know. We'll probably speak about this more, but like, it was very, very like in working life in general. It was totally formative. I'm 17, going to 18 at that point. So it was very, very difficult for a kid to be taken away from his family, from his friends and some of his family, of course. But we were lucky enough to have a elderly relative staying with us. Well, he was like my granddad's best man. Like and my granddad passed away ages ago, and sort of like the last connection to my granddad, really. And he stayed with us. He had terminal cancer, effectively. Very, very deep, I know, and I understand how this gets to Football Manager, but I'll tell you. So he had terminal cancer. Like realistically, it was very, very emotional time. And he enjoyed it. Like he had an amazing last few months of his life. But the way I got away from it was me and my mate Billy, and he'll be very, very happy I'm mentioning him. We started a Football Manager save together, and the times that I wasn't working and creating YouTube silly FM content or doing interviews with my mate Haas, like I played Football Manager with him. And honestly, I after my relative died, I said to him, thank you. Like you have really helped me here, because it was like a place where life didn't really exist. It was this little world of Leicester and Wolves, and that was it. And we honestly, it saved me from a lot of sad times, because it was a very, very difficult place to be. And that's why I always say, like, the narratives, the stories, it can take you into another dimension almost. And I think a lot of games can do that. And that's why I'll never really, if I ever have kids, I'll always encourage them to basically to run away with it and help your imagination run forth.